Welcome back to some more Umineko When They Cry. Uh, there was a bit of a simple recap. Like 70% of the parts that I watched is both Natsuki and Beatrice are having a bit of a tea party, and Natsuki trying out the tea snack reminded her of her travels with Kraus, aka her husband, when she was shown around with, I guess a bit of a cultural difference of the such. And it shows how shy Natsuki is when it comes to trying out things. And then there's a I don't I honestly don't know if this is actually really important, but um Battler was still trying to convince, you know, Beatrice in a way. I don't know why she kept uh I don't know why Battler kept doing that. It's just like, well, I know there is like some sort of I feel like he kept worrying about the thing to where like it's like to where he forgot his actual goal, and then when it got reminded, he's like, "Oh, I kept forgetting." I was like, "Okay then." Uh, like even Burn Castle just comes in and be like, "Well, what the hell?" Yeah, well, what is the truth, and is the truth, and do you need love in order for the truth to be seen? Is the question. Anyway, let's continue.
De?
Oh, we're back to this.
あそこで夏日とお茶を飲んでるベアトだけど大丈夫よね。
ああ、大丈夫だ。
金蔵の時と同じよ。ベアトリーチェなんて存在しない。あれは魔女の力を借りて危機を乗り越える妙案を思いついたと信じる夏日が生み出した偽りの魔女幻想。
I mean, isn't that kind of what the point what coping is?
二人が並んでお茶を飲んでるように見えるのはゲームマスターであり物語の語り手であるラムダデルタがそう解釈しているからなだけよ。
Yeah, she's the one telling the story.
夏日に対し一辺の愛も持たずに凝視できたならそんな幻想が見えたりはしない。だから私の目には夏日が一人ぼっちで黙々と紅茶を飲んでるようにしか見えないわ。
So Lambda is constructing the narrative of this fantasy story, and Berncastle playing the role of anti-fantasy is making it look like, oh, Natsuki is just like sitting all by herself. So you would think Natsuki is just delusional. Without love, it cannot be seen. Yeah, pretty sure you reminded me so many times. Because love is lacking, it cannot be seen.
あれは夏日が見せている妄想。
Yeah?
あそこにベアトリーチェなど存在しない。
Beato mumbled softly. It was a small voice that made it sound like she was in pain. The thorn of Berncastle's truth had stabbed into her chest.
ああ、そうだろうな。お前の推理は正しいと思うぜ。だが、それをベアトの前で口にするな。
Yeah. Let's just carry on with the story then.
どこで口にしたって同じよ。ここはベアトの世界なんだから。
So because of the... Oh, right. So it doesn't matter where you go, like whether it's like in private conversation or not. Then if this is the world that is, if we're in her world, then she can hear us entirely. Then wouldn't me? So what's the then? What's the solution to it? Do we just go along with it, or do we just like fabricate the truth to where like, oh, like, Beato does shouldn't exist, even though like, uh,
あと、こいつを擁護するわけじゃねえが、夏日おばさんが本当に未知の人物 X、ベアトリーチェと名乗る人物とこうしてお茶を飲んでる可能性だってあるんだぜ。この光景は1年前のものだろう。この日の島の人数が赤き真実で示されてるわけじゃない。
really. I make sure the volume is up a bit. Also, wait, no. Put it around here. There we go.
そうね。この日の六軒島の人数についてはラムダも赤では語ってないわ。
Even Lambda hasn't said anything in red. Wouldn't be the number of people in red. Wouldn't the number of people in Rokujima would be like 17 nonetheless?
なら、夏日おばさんが本当にベアトリーチェと名乗る女とお茶を飲んだと主張することもできるんだぜ。俺にお前の説を否定できないように、お前だって俺の説を否定できないんだ。だから、そこにいるベアトが幻想だと断じることもできないぜ。
ああ、猫箱理論。それ、ベアトには通用したかもしれないけど、私には通じないわよ。
Does that mean why? Because Berncastle is a cat and she's immune to the cat box theory?
どうして？
Yeah, why is that?
だって、夏日はそこで一人ぼっちで紅茶を飲んでるんだもの。
Oh shit. God, that face. There was a violent sound of glass breaking, and the Beata who laughed happily and cracked jokes about Natsuki's newly-wed years was erased. A lonely wind blew, and the one person who remained on the bench drinking tea with this tired expression was Aunt Natsuki all by herself. Beato groaned. I could see clearly that she was in anguish. Another illusion of the witch had been smashed, drawing Beato towards death. In short, this is what the battle to let Beato rest in peace is all about. A second ago, Berncastle likened our fight to the torture of tearing fingernails out. If I had to tear them out anyway, then my last bit of compassion towards Beato should be to minimize that pain. In other words, even if I want to minimize her pain, I still have to cause it. I have to accept that look of anguish on her face. And at the same time, I realized what a merciless thing the red truth was. Right now, in this rose garden, there's no one except Aunt Natsuki. In other words, there are no observers except for Aunt Natsuki. So if that lone observer were to say that she had some tea with Beato, no one should be able to refute that. If there's something no one can deny, doesn't that mean it's the truth? Aunt Natsuki is enjoying the roses and drinking tea together with Beato. How can anyone have the right to mercilessly trample that pleasant moment?
赤き真実はまるでハモった。
the red truth is like the blade because does that mean in ways like the truth hurts in a way?
魔女と戦う上で時に推理を切られ時に反撃の武器となる刃物だ。
知ってるわよ。それが何？
みだりに使うな。刃物は使うべき時に使えば道具だが、悪意を持って使えば凶器でしかない。
True enough, Aunt Natsuki wasn't really drinking tea with the witch. However, saying that with the red truth probably has nothing to do with our game. Our game is the tale of October 1986. The 2 days of the crime give us more than enough time to injure each other, with our red and blue blades glistening.
これは魔女幻想じゃない。夏日おばさんのプライバシーだ。それを暴く権利なんて誰にもあるものか。
この場に魔女が実在して夏日とお茶を飲んだと認めてほしいの？あなた魔女を否定するんじゃなかったの
？That's a good question. So if you're using that's the thing, right? If you're using the red truth, make it so that Natsuki was just coping to prevent her, to prevent loneliness, then would this mean that like the whole point of Natsuki having an imaginary friend was just nothing more than a mere illusion to cope as a part of the truth? Or is it just so like, oh, Natsuki's just having some, I don't know.
1986年10月4日から5日の2日間のゲームについてはな。だがそのゲーム版の外についてまで俺は魔女の存在を問うつもりはねえぜ。そもそも悪魔の証明により魔女の否定は不可能だ。
The devil's proof argument makes it impossible to deny it.
そしてこのゲームのルールに従い赤でそれを語るのもステイルメイトで禁じ手だ。赤き真実でさえ魔女の存在を否定はできねえんだぜ。
確かに。まさかあなたに魔女の存在を語られるとはね。
That's the weird part, right? How is Burn Castle being the witch being in charge of the fragments when you're denying the someone else who's also a witch? Is this like some sort of like, is there really some sort of militant reason behind this?
さすがラムだ。バトラーを人間犯人説と魔女がいてもいいという気持ちのうまいこと中間に引っ張り出してきたわ。人間の心を操るのに本当に長けている。私ももっとあなたを応援しないとまずいわね。
お前らなど知ったことじゃない。消えろ。これは俺とベアとのゲームだ。お前たちに私はしない。
嫌よ。
何？
What do you mean, no?
だって
Wow, you got a different expression.
私もこのゲーム楽しんでるんだもの。
Typical of a stoic sadist. Fern Castle disappeared, leaving only that unpleasant laugh behind. No words. After all that remained was Natsuki sipping tea all alone. Beato, her hand still on the teacup as she stared blankly at the surface of the liquid. And me.
ベルンカステルにラムダデルタか。ワルギリアはお前の友人と言ってたが、お前友人は選ぶべきだったな。いや、むしろ性悪なお前にはお似合いなのか。
Yeah, the quote he said where he said, "You really should choose your friends more carefully," which that can be applied, doesn't really have to be applied with anyone within your verse of fantasy, but within your real life perspective. Uh, uh, the the out the moment you step out your house, not everything can be trusted, you know. Beato didn't answer. Badler took Beato's hand, made her hold the cup again, and brought it to her lips. Beato made a quiet sound in her throat and drank another gulp. Oh, we're back to this very gloomy part right here, huh? This is pretty unfortunate. Then, Natsuki's lonely tea time ended. That truth, which was Natsuki's alone and observed by no one else, had been defiled. In Natsuki's world, surely, that tea party, which had been peaceful despite her annoyance at Beato for making fun of her too much, came to an end, and the two of them parted ways. However, in Natsuki's exposed truth, she was all alone. I mean, if Beato was making fun, was just really just taking a joke a bit too far, then I guess that could be obvious with the gloomy look on her face. Sure, I mean, but you know, when you're constructing a narrative to make it so the truth hurts even more, then that too can lead the outcome. She was all alone. Natsuki tottered away. On the bench, only a single person's cup remained. Wow. Very gloomy. I feel like the chapters have lately been a bit short, huh? Locked room barrier. Oh, we're down to this fucking argument, huh? What chapter are we on? Episode 3, Chapter 3. Oh boy. We're back to Jessica. After dashing to her room, Jessica answered the phone call that had been transferred there.
ああ、もしもし。お待たせ。バートラー。6年も音沙汰なしとはどういうつもりだ？
Well, this is the interesting part, comparing to the last 4 episodes. I'm going through like various like the prelude of the story before, before the whole family reunion takes place.
久しぶりだな。お、そうなのか？知るかよそんなの。うぜえぜ。 年の親族会議はちゃんと来るわけだろ。6年ぶりだな。
I mean, over half a decade is pretty long. Like, if Badler doesn't really care about, the entirety of family, he would have said no by then. 5 businessmen in expensive suits were visiting in the parlor, giving Kraus and Natsuki a progress report on their business. Spread out on the table were the blueprints and designs for a building, as well as documents related to expenditures and the like. So packed that even a teacup would have gotten in the way. Officially, they were here to give Kraus a progress report, but in actuality, Kraus had called them all the way over to Rokujima so that Natsuki could hear from them directly. This was because Natsuki needed to hear someone other than her husband explain what condition their business was in. In other words, even though another family conference without Kinzo was approaching, their business had not yet earned them any money. After telling the guests to wait for a short while, Kraus took Natsuki out into the hall and once again summarized the situation.
つまり我々の想像をはるかに超えて事業は素晴らしくうまくいっていると彼らは言っているのだ。ここで私と知事との私的なコネクションが大きく効いてきた。もはや絶対に釣り落とすことはない。それどころか例の委任状だけでなくこれまでの損失さえも一気に取り戻すことが可能なくらいの大きな話になりつつあるのだ。
Really love it how I think this is the difference they put there. They really extended this text out, comparing to the question mark. I'm not sure if the question mark did that, but yes, there was a bit of difference there. Kraus spoke passionately. This made it seem all the more suspicious to Natsuki, but this time at least, she had to admit that everything really did seem to be going well. Certainly, this business Kraus boasted of had expanded in scope over the last year, and was promising an even greater payoff than had been anticipated initially. Whether it would prove to be a winner or not, investors had gathered around it, and they were rapidly gaining funds. This must be what they mean when they say money summons money. It was probably the greatest success of Kraus's life so far. No, it probably would be his greatest success yet. That point was where Natsuki's misgivings lay. True, it was certain, and as Kraus had said, they wouldn't lose this catch now. However, the fish on the line had gotten too big.
必ず釣り上げられる魚だ。
You think so?
何も焦る必要はないのだよ。親父が生きていたなら、ぜひ見せて誇りたいほどの大成功なのだ。
If he were still alive, it kind of oh god. That last sentence there reminds me of the one meme from Fairly Odd Parents show where, like, the one meme with the character was like, "This is where I put my alive father, if he was still alive, if I had one." Okay, well, you get what I mean.
ええ、それは分かっています。ですがあなたは昨年私に約束したはずです。必ず1年で何とかできると。
A pained look rose to Kraus's face. They certainly had hooked the fat fish that guaranteed great success. However, it would require an appropriate amount of time to reel it in. Natsuki pressed Kraus, asking if there was any way for them to make money before this year's family conference, but Kraus kept saying that he needed just one more year. Kraus planned to use this unprecedented success. Unprecedented success, whatever you call it, to catapult them into further challenges in the future. Because of this, He didn't want to do anything that would raise suspicions by making it seem like they were rushing to get money. Certainly, fortune tends to turn against people who take it for granted even in the slightest. Anxious beggars never prosper. On many occasions before now, Krause had gotten cold feet and sold off businesses that would surely have brought in a profit that had he just waited, and had, in effect, given away his winning picks. Natsuki also knew this. She knew that guts were the thing her husband lacked the most. That's why she was unable to refuse when Krause said he wanted to prudently wait just one more year.
順調でよかったではないか。ということはどうやら私はもうしばらくここで幽霊を続けねばならぬようだな。
まんざらでもなかろうが。
You don't look too disappointed.
そなたの命などこの世を去ればすぐに悪魔どもに食い尽くされる運命よ。
申し訳ありません、お父様。また今年もお父様にはお休みいただけないかもしれません。
よい、気にするな夏日。後宮家当主はすでに私ではない。書斎の幽霊はおとなしく現在の当主の命令に従うべきだ。クラウスの資料は読ませてもらったが、なかなかに悪くない。
お父様からご覧になってもですか？
わらわから見てもなかなかのものよ。誰もが勝利を確信し、相当の魔力が集中している。その結果、さらに勝利が熱くなり、ますますに人と魔力を集め黄金を生み出そうとしている。錬金術の王道を見事に体現しているぞ。
おお、黄金の魔女の太鼓判までつくならこれは心強い。喜べ夏日。このクラウスの事業は必ずや後宮家の危機を救うだろう。
ありがとうございます。そしてそのためにまた。
もう一度親族会議を乗り越えねばならんな。
ええ、昨年はうまくやり過ごせたつもりですが、不審に思う親族も現れるでしょう。今年は正念場になると思います。
Being in a wealthy family sure is pretty complicated.
去年の親族会議の時。
Wouldn't that imply to every wealthy family thus far? I mean, then again, like I'm not really, I can't really, I'm not really, I'm not the observant in that, and it is other people's business. But
ひょっとしたらもう一度同じことになるかもしれぬと予見したそなたは正しかったな。
最悪のケースを想定するのは魔女ならずとも世渡りの基本だ。それで今年はどうする？
去年同様、会議当日はお父様の秘密を知る使用人を集中的に配置します。お父様の不在を気取る親族もすでにいるかもしれません。不用意な演出は むしろ馬脚を表す危険性もあります。
A high who no fathers here are there on the day of the conference. Some of the relatives may have already knows that father is around.
過ぎたるは及ばざるがごとしとも言う。なればどうする？
今年は昨年とは逆に最後まで書斎をお出にならないという筋書きで行こうと思います。
それがよかろうな。籠城は単純にして最後の切り札だ。
Does that explain? Well, that explained the title.
どれほど屋敷が毒素に満ちようとも、この部屋を密室結界に閉ざす限り、金蔵の存在を否定することはできぬ。それはわらわも保証する。だが籠城すれば囲まれるは必至。
承知しています。それでも何卒もう一度だけお父様とベアトリーチェの力をお貸しください。
私は新しき当主の命令には逆らえぬ。そして幽霊もまた聖者の命令には逆らえぬしな。この部屋から出るなというのであればそれに従おう。
Well, that explains that reason.
ありがとうございます。
わらわは嫌だぞ。力を貸せと願われても願いごときでは聞いてやれぬ。
I mean, even if you disagree, I'm surely there's some sort of a compromise to that.
ええ。あなたは顧問錬金術師。ですから、貸せと願いません。貸しなさいと命じます。
I won't ask you to help. However, I will order you to help.
あなたの魔法だけが頼りです。
That's different.
その力でもう一度だけお父様の幻想を。
ならばよし。
Wow, that's a one passing that speech check.
心得たぞ。そなたの貫禄、なかなかに心地よし。
That's crazy. From the shadows of the study, Badler watched the exchange between these three.
なるほどな。そして今年の親族会議を迎えるわけだ。じいさまは不機嫌だからと書斎に閉じこもり、誰の前にも姿を現さない。
Natsuki spoke boldly about how she would somehow overcome this year's crisis and protect the Ushiro family's honor until the end. While Kinzo praised her, saying that her plan looked promising, Beato also praised her, saying that Natsuki's dignified confidence was even more well-suited for the headship than Krause's. However, right now, the true number of people in this room was... The moment I thought that, no, just because I thought it, Beato grabbed at her chest and moaned.
安心しろ。ここはゲーム版のまだ外だ。だから俺はそこにいるお前やじいさまを否定はしない。
I put my hand on Beato's as she tried to hold back the pain deep inside her chest. I've already told Fern Castle. The 2-day period of the 1986 family conference is all I need to deny the illusion of the witch.
お前は前回、全ゲームの開始時に、じい様が死んでることを赤で宣言した。しかし、ゲーム開始以前のじい様の生死については言及していない。つまり、今この場にじい様が存在していても、何の矛盾もないってわけだ。
Yeah, she never meant. Yeah, I think episodes 1 to 4, like, oh, grandfather Kinzo is dead at the start for all the entire games, but she never mentioned whether she was dead or alive for them. That's I might have to look back. Man, I really have man, this game really wants me to go to look back on the question arcs, huh? That's kind of exhausting, if you ask me. My hand touching her let off a faint blue light, which seeped into her chest. That light tenderly wrapped itself around the splinters in Beato's chest.
そして、この場にいるベアトリーチェの存在だって否定することはできない。
He can't deny the existence of the Beatrice or the Beatrice in this place.
ゲーム版の外、すなわち1986年10月4日以前の島の人数については赤で宣言されていないんだ。
So you mean to tell me like the prelude before the conference happened? Yeah, October 4th. Yeah, I think.
だから、ここにベアトリーチェが存在しても何もおかしいことはない。
Yeah, because the only time the number of people takes place, the only time the number of people that occurred in Orokujima that takes place is during the conference, where I know they never. That's the thing in episode 5. Neither Burn Castle or Lambda Delta even said the number. Oh, this is the number of people on October 4th or some shit. I was like, that comments can declare me whether I'm right or wrong in that. So. Huh. I see that Beatrice is Oh, I see what's Battler doing for there. He's I think using the blue truth. He is constructing some sort of thing to where Beatrice can slowly come back to her senses. Beato's expression softened slightly. My blue light slowly began to melt the red splinters that denied the illusion of the witch. Beato still wore the same sad expression, but she lifted her face and looked me straight in the eye. Though she was silent, her eyes told me that her pain had subsided. The feelings that showed in her eyes were gratitude for taking the pain away, and appreciation, or was it surprise, for leaving even a tiny bit of leeway for witches to exist. Unable to look directly at those pure eyes of hers, I reflexively averted my gaze.
誤解すんなよ。魔女の存在を認めたり、あるいは屈したつもりもねえ。俺はお前とのゲームに勝つために、その部分だけに徹して、ストイックに戦いたいってわけだぜ。
Fight, part slide, and fight stoically so that I can win the. So, part of making amends in order to fight fairly? stoically.
ゲーム版の外でまで嫌がらせをするほど趣味は悪くねえからな。
I guess he was like pretty self-aware for how like his way of fighting Beatrice earlier was pretty unfair. So Beato hung her head. I was still facing away from her. However, we waited wordlessly for a while, my hand still on hers. By now, no one would believe that this sad-eyed woman was the same person as that prideful Beato, so I asked once more. Even though I said it out loud, it wasn't a question to her. I was asking myself.
お前は一体何を考えていたんだ。そうさ。俺はラムダデルタのゲームを通じてでもお前を探さなくちゃならない。お前が何を考え、何をしようとしていたのかもな。
Very soon, this game will also reach October 4th, 1986. The fifth game will finally begin. And this time, I'll reach the end. The end of that. Am I retarded? Oh god. I thought October 5th would be the... Okay. Am I wrong on this? Holy shit. October... October 4th... Okay, so October 4th is the annual family conference. But usually, so before October 4th ended, this is where the 6th... Is that where the... God, this is just fucking weird. And this time I'll reach the end of that journey.
殺人がとかトリックがとかそういう上辺だけじゃない。お前が黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェが何を考え何のためにそうしたのか。
What did you, the golden witch Beatrice, think, and why did you do what you did?
何を望んでいたのか。それをたどる。
What is the sole reason why she wanted to commit sadistic murder? Why did Beatrice come out as the murderous villain? She's about to trying to find out the clues for this stuff. That's right. I already know how I can reach the end of that journey. It's been made clear to me since the very beginning.
今こそチェス盤をひっくり返そう。
The chess... that type of trick.
この物語を俺側からじゃなくお前側からの目線で物語を紐解く。そして今度こそお前を理解しよう。そしてお前の心臓にたどり着く。痛みなんか感じさせない。安心しろ。あの魔女どものおもちゃになどもうこれ以上させないからな。
Beato looked up at me again and then gave a small nod. That's right. The position of Game Master might have been snatched up by Lambda Delta. However, as long as I continue this contest with the intent of fighting against Beato, our fight will continue no matter who controls the game board. Very soon, the curtain will rise on our game.
今年の親族会議でも親方様の秘密を隠さねばならん。
Ooh, the annual conference is beginning soon.
はい。心得ております。
同じ手がもう一度通じるか疑問だな。
奥様も同じご懸念を持たれている。そのため今年は書斎から一切お出にならない方向で行くことになった。
つまりずっと書斎にこもられていることにするというわけですか？
Yeah, maybe Kinzo was in a bad mood and be like, oh, I guess there are some weird excuses to that, but...
うん。そして書斎に入ることが許されているのは、我ら三人、片翼の翼を許された使用人だけだ。
ということは、僕たち3人で親方様の嘘を突き通さなくちゃならないわけか。
そうだ。親族の方々は親方様の具合や機嫌などを問い詰めてくるだろう。よどみなく答え、不審に思われることがなきよう注意するように。
はい。心得ました。
姉さんはすぐドジるからな。むしろ当日は風邪か何か理由をつけて欠席した方がいいんじゃない？
No wonder Shannon doesn't get seen this often until now.
そんなひどい。
That's funny. Canon wasn't just making fun of her. He only wanted to release Shannon from the burden of working on this most serious of days.
源氏様。
Yeah, it's not like Canon is just making fun of her. It's just that he's showing some bit of concern because Shannon gets like, you know, more anxiety compared to like what Canon has been going through. So.
シャノンがシフトに入る必要はないのでは？僕たちだけで十分やります。
それはできん。奥様から我ら三人は必ずシフトに入るようにとの厳命だ。
はい。やり遂げる覚悟です。
どじらないでよ。
どじりません。
Shannon grew sullen and Canon shrugged. Then Genji told him that they weren't talking. Then Genji told him that they weren't taking this seriously enough.
シャノン、カノン。すでにお仕えする親方様はお亡くなりになっている。しかし、本当の意味でお亡くなりになるまで、我らの奉仕は続く。あの書斎は無人ではない。今なお親方様がおられ、日々の研究に勤しまれているのだ。それを深く心得よ。
はい、
源氏様。
Well, that's taken care of.
お父様がすでに亡くなっている。そんなバカな。
まあまあ、例えの話や。武田信玄はその死を3年の間秘密にするよう遺言したっちゅう有名な故事があるやろ。知らんか？
そんな話もあったかしら。日本史はよくわかんないわ。
当時武田は織田や徳川との戦の真っ最中だった。そこで信玄が死んだなんて話になったら戦況に悪影響が出るやろ。そやから自分の死を3年隠すように遺言したんや。秀吉かてそうやで。主君織田信長の死を敵方に知られんように徹底的に情報規制を行い。
Oh wow, yeah. With Oda Nobunaga. I'm sure I do remember the name of this the historical figure. Especially when I used to play Fate Grand Order. It's like, yeah, you know, I've looked into the historical figure.
素早く毛利と和解して中国大返しを行い明智を撃ったんやないか。一方の柴田勝家はそこで失敗したんや。敵の上杉に信長の死を知られ思わぬ反撃を受けて足止めを食らい、その後の秀吉との後継者争いで大きく遅れを取ることになったんや。
Hideyoshi, who had a strong fascination with the commanders of the Sengoku period, would always show off his knowledge when he got the chance. Wincing slightly, Eva made him get back to his point.
早い話が、わしは去年の親族会議から
We're going through the fucking history stunlock there.
ずっと違和感を持っとったんや。
あれは私やルドルフが遺産の話をしてたのを廊下のお父様に聞かれてしまって、それで。
そこや。夏日さんや使用人たちはどこそこにお父さんがいた、不機嫌そうだったと口を揃えたが、わしら親族は誰一人お父さんを見てないんやで。
もしあなたの想像が本当なら、どういうこと？兄さんが遺産の独り占めを狙ってるということ？
もちろん死んだことを隠すなんてかなり危険なことや。果たして遺産を独り占めするためだけにそれだけのことをクラウスさんがやってのけるのか、わしも確信は持てん。だが可能性はある。
確かに兄さんは昔から強欲よ。兄弟全員でと受け取ったものを着服するなんてよくあることだったわ。
クラウスさんはわしら兄弟の中では一番裕福なはずや。
Well, he is the oldest of all the siblings. Of course, he's pretty privileged in the matter.
そんなクラウスさんがお父さんの死を隠すなんて危険を冒してまで遺産の独り占めを目論むとは、わしにはちょいと信じられんのだがな。だがそう疑いたくなるくらい去年の親族会議はおかしかったんやで。
Whew. Well, that's a good place to end it from here, ain't it? Alright. I think we're stopping it from here. At the right where both Eva and Hideyoshi are raising a little suspicion about Kraus and Kinzo. But next part. Let's see how this whole before the whole family reunion thing is up, because we also haven't gotten to Rudolph and Rosa yet, so there's that. Well, maybe they'll you know, show these few characters later on before the reunion. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.